So we're going to talk first to Luke Skippy Harbur, who is a performer, producer, and educator whose business, Music by Skippy, creates live arts experiences for multi-generational audiences. Through beatboxing and other artistic skills, his work celebrates authenticity and combats there you go, social isolation. Now, over 75 published songs, nearly 600 tickets sold to original shows, and 2 life-saving surgeries continue his mission to promote the kind, goofy, and critical thinking artists living inside all of us. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. It feels so good to be here this morning.
You know, it's been a while since I've seen you, and this is your first appearance, not your last.
That's right. Thank you so much.
It
Feels good to be here as a newcomer.
You've got great energy, and I'm so excited to talk with you. But I want to start by giving us a backstory about how you became interested in the arts as a producer, performer, musician, and all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was involved in the arts since age 5. I took my first singing and choir class, actually from this mid-70-year-old woman named Mrs. Crawford. And I watched her get up on a piano and stand when I was that age and say, "Who's ready for Friday morning music?" And I was like, oh my God.
It.
So I got permission very early as a kid to be authentic, warm, big, fun in that space. Fast forward, I made my first ever song in 2017 called By the Way. I was a junior in high school, was 21 years old. Made one song, enjoyed it, thought it was a phase. Eventually got a job right after school as the marketing strategist of the American Jazz Museum. And then I was there for 3 years. And then I just had this internal clock of, you know what? I think I need to try my own pathway and see what happens in the arts. That was about 2021 at this point. And so lo and behold, in order for me to actually make this my full-time career, I thought about both the importance of the left brain and the right brain of the arts. How do you not just create original work? How do you fund and manage it as well? And I think just by force of doing this full-time, 75 original songs in 4 years, almost 1,600 tickets sold locally, and produced probably 12 original shows at this point with a lot more counting. That has accumulated into having a catalog of artistic work that helps me tour, that helps open up a lot of different opportunities today.
That is impressive.
Thank you.
That is very
Thank you.
impressive. And you also have a business sense about, you know, with this creativity too, as a producer, educator, performer, and such. Because we were talking about that as in marketing. It's very important for you to be able to, I guess, sort of sell yourself in a sense.
Well,
if you
absolutely.
wanna say sell,
And
but-
thoughtful marketing
Yeah,
is a big
yeah.
part of it. How do you think critically about what someone's habits already are, and you tap into that versus saying, I want you to hear and see my original work. I promise this is the only way that you can actually get access to me. I'm a firm believer in accessible arts in the sense of both the sociability of it, just talk about it like over a drink or like having coffee with someone, all the way up to I've had clients that have paid me 5-digit contracts, potentially 6 in the future now with what I do. So how do you be thoughtful about that kind of client? You just have to adapt and market accordingly to people. Everyone's different.
So did you learn this kind of through different classes, education, or is it something that's kind of inherent that you just realize, this is something that would really be helpful for me?
I think it was a combo of 2 specific things. My wonderful mother and father have this nonprofit called Gift of Life, which spreads the awareness of organ and tissue donation across the Kansas City metropolitan area. And as a little kid, I watched them about how to fundraise, how do you expand a program, how do you think about having an executive director that's good or really bad.
Yeah.
So I had an informal education with that. All the way on the other side with the right brain, I've been involved in the arts for so long that it almost was a muscle memory with that. And I did a lot of public speaking engagements for it when I was a kid. So combine what I watched with my parents and their business and networking acumen to just my creativity and how I had the privilege of having that fostered and respected and strengthened. I think that is how I'm able to be successful today in what I do.
That's truly a gift, and you know, rare for so many of us, but grateful, I'm sure, of that early learning and those skills that you engaged in at an early age.
Absolutely. And it shouldn't be a privilege. I think anyone and everyone on this program can attest that arts it should not be a privilege. So when you
You're
potentially
right.
get
You're
that
right.
opportunity of having your own work fostered, creating opportunities for others as fast as possible, and giving back to the communities in some way, that's what makes it all way more worthwhile than just tapping into your ego.
So you're not only producing and writing and making music and such, you're also setting the elevator down. You're also creating opportunities for others to get involved, to participate in what you know and what you create, right?
Yes, I get so bubbly and smiley about that
my gosh, I love
because
it.
it is so cool to go into classrooms for universities and high schools and do arts entrepreneurship lectures. And now you're the person in the room. You're the authority in the room now. I mean, I'm 30, but it's like, I'm now just at this point where students see you and they're like, yeah, like you are a person who is an elder in my eyes now, and I want to learn from the experience you have. So you can either be the really nice, open, hey, here's how I screwed up and did really well, or I could kind of have a hoity-toityness about my work.
I love that authenticity.
ya.
It's so important.
It's my favorite thing.
Well, and I think it helps people understand that you're not here, you're there with them. You've been there, or you're still challenging and
Yes.
working through things. And
Yeah, and being a collaborator, like, yes, I'm an executive producer a lot of times in rooms. Yes, I've been leads in many shows, but I think healthy creative collaboration is the teeter-totter effect. It's not about
Absolutely.
staying on top of a ladder and then looking down. It's how do you always maybe kind of ping pong and leverage other people's creativity. You're like, this is my idea, but this is actually a blueprint. It's just an idea. What do you think? How would you like to kind of add to what this creativity is?
we need more people like you, Skippy. We
Healthy,
really do.
creative environments are the freaking best. Way more enjoyable.
And I want to share, if you would,
Please.
if you would share your social media platforms, websites, and all, because I know as we talk, people can maybe take a look on their phone or laptop or iPad.
Yeah, absolutely. If you'd like to follow my journey, all you have to do is search at Music by Skippy, all is one word, on any social media platform. And then my website, in case you'd like to work with me or literally just get coffee and talk to me, I'm very much about that nowadays, www.musicbyskippy.com.
I'm just so happy that you joined us today. If you just tuned in, this is Art Speak Radio. I'm Maria Vasquez-Boyd. I'm talking with Skippy Harbur, who is a performer, producer, and educator whose business, Music by Skippy, creates live art experiences for multi-generational audiences. And with that, we want to talk about an upcoming event. I'm
Yes.
excited about it. You're excited about it.
excited.
The Toxic Avenger, the musical.
Yes.
And that's going to be at the Arts Asylum from January 30th to February 8th. Tell me about it.
Of course. So, the Toxic Avenger, the musical, is actually based on the 1984 Lloyd Kaufman comedy called The Toxic Avenger. Basically, it is about a nerd who gets dropped into a vat of acid, survives, and becomes the Toxic Avenger, who is actually a superhero wanting to take down a corrupt politician in Tromaville, New Jersey, who is profiting off of global warming. So he has this incredible character arc of being this very, oh, no, I don't want to confront anyone in any position of authority at any time because I don't deserve to talk to that person, all the way to, no, I'm calling you out for everything that you've done. And it just feels so timely right now, given no matter how you feel about the current climate. I just think it's very powerful to think about what confrontation can do when you really are mindful about why you're doing it. And I think this show captures that in a very campy, fun, exaggerated way, but it's very powerful.
Well, and as we were talking before we went on air, was that we need this release. We need this laughter. We need this joy in our lives. And fortunately, art has that capability to make us really feed our soul.
Absolutely. And we need it more than ever.
Right.
And the time of year that this show is happening, January 30th to February 8th, is historically a dead zone for a lot of live arts and people looking to be employed in a live arts project. So the series, because it's once a year that I'm going to help executive produce a musical alongside Arthur Clifford and probably the Arts Asylum. This is the first show in a series called Hidden Gems, where when you see a show that we make once a year around this time, you leave saying, wow, this is such a hidden gem of a show. Why is no one doing this? Because we have a lot of Rent the musical, we have a lot of Hello Dolly, a lot of big mainstream productions, which are amazing for the live arts community gathering. We want to add to that and say, how about you see something that might be just a little off Broadway, or maybe you'd see it in Europe. Let's do something like that.
But campy is fun.
So fun. It's so fun.
And I'm sure that the actors, the cast have just a ball with this, right?
Yes, they're very... So we have our official first rehearsal this coming Sunday, January the 11th. But I will tell you, I had the opportunity as executive producer to pass out every single script and libretto to every single production member. And when they were like, we are so excited to do something so different and so silly. And as the executive producer, it was cool to tell them, yes, lean into it. I want you to be ridiculously fun and make way too big of choices in air quotes in order to feel like you're just out of a comfort zone or you're doing something different. So everyone feels like they're not just part of something fun. They're part of something where they're getting to really own their own creativity in the work. And I think that's just so,
there's some
that's
ownership
beautiful.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah. They get to sprout, you know?
Tickets are available at theartsasylum.org.
Yes.
And the Arts Asylum is located at 824 East Meyer Boulevard, Kansas City, Missouri. And that is really where the landing is in that area.
Yeah.
And off in between Gregory and Troost?
Yeah. And if you know where Baba's Pantry is,
Oh, yeah.
I kid you not, it's maybe 1 block away from that, 1 block south.
You know, and what I like about that location, too, is not only is it easily accessible, but there's plenty of parking and there's plenty of restaurants to go to before the production.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
it's nice. You can definitely
great
quote unquote
time.
make like a dinner and a show, or
Yeah.
like get lunch and then come see the show.
Yeah.
And the venue itself is so beautiful. The Arts Asylum has agreed to be a co-producing entity in this, which is a really humbling thing, not just like from a financial perspective, but more importantly, they have a lot of stature and really fight to make the arts accessible. And I think the alignment is just, it's just magnificent.
Yeah, that's a great
Kind of a match made
partnership.
in heaven, to be honest.
Absolutely. Now, going back to the songs, is it, how many songs would you say are in the show?
The Toxic Avenger?
Yeah.
I would say you're looking at about 20 to 25 songs-ish. All of the songs are written by David Bryan, the keyboardist of Bon Jovi. So the rock music that you're listening to, rock music primarily, there's ballads. We have a live 5-piece band. We were able to afford that, which is incredible. So you're going to get to hear and see the full electricity of what the score is about.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really fun. Really fun.
With as far as the music goes, is it with live musicians?
Yes. There'll be 5, there's a 5-piece band. It includes a keyboardist, a drummer, reeds, bassist, and guitarist. And then there's 5 cast members total in the show. But the crazy thing about that, my wonderful friend, is that 2 people play almost 20 to 30 different characters because they're literally pretending they're all of the other people in the show outside of 3 main characters. They're the background of every single scene, which is hilarious and honestly very tactful because some of the quick changes are so fast to make sure that that's successful.
This sounds like so much
It's
fun.
so fun. It's
You know,
so fun.
how could you pass up the opportunity to produce this? And
Yeah, and it's very easy to pitch.
Yeah.
That's what I've
Yeah.
enjoyed about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're into the Rocky Horror Picture Show, that's similar. It's a very
Okay,
similar
good.
vibe, very similar in what it stands on.
I think that's important to note. Again, the Toxic Avenger, the musical, at the Arts Asylum from January 30th to February 8th. Tickets are available at theartsasylum.org. There was something that I wanted to mention to you about the production and the music and all that. You come from a theater background?
Predominantly. I mean, I went to school I got a major in journalism and strategic marketing, really based on a lot of my experience there. And then I went to a performing arts high school, my senior year of high school in North Carolina. So I have a very funny combination of, I did a ton of theater and arts experience, but I got this formal education basically to help me pitch and create work in a way so that I can keep doing it. That's
But
kind of a point.
But I know that there's several people that rose up through theater, Mark Manning and Bess
Yes.
Wallerstein. And did you also perform other roles such as, the prop master and costumer and lighting and all of that? I mean, just everything.
I did. I kind of, I was the janitor for a lot of my beginning shows, making sure all the venue looks, smells, sounds clean. And I still take so much pride in taking on any other hats. So like for the Toxic Avenger, the musical, yes, I'm the executive producer. I'm also the star of the show. I'm the guy who gets dropped in the vat of acid because I've had to gain 15 to 20 pounds of muscle this year in order to actually do the show well. If I did not train, this show would be bad. Nothing against, everyone would be great. I wouldn't have the stamina or the wherewithal to really make it happen. So then I also have the hat of props master and alongside Arthur Clifford and a couple of other roles. But I think people will realize when you're not in high budget theater, which is great in its own way, you have to be very passionate about when you wear many hats, don't frown upon it, kind of embrace it, because when you wear many hats and do a great job with many hats, a lot more can get done, which is wonderful.
And again, there's such ownership in performing those duties, those roles.
Yes.
And, I think it's just really kind of exciting.
I think it's exciting.
Not only to be, the producer and actor, but, I'm going to wipe up the floor too.
Well,
there's something
and just knowing if you've done the role, you can communicate the role. That's a big part of it too. I would hate to tell a lighting designer, I want this, and I've had no lighting design experience. On the flip side, what's beautiful about like this show is if I would ever need to communicate with the sound designer, I have a background in audio visual. I've done sound design for a couple of theater shows. So I know not just how to respect him, but if he might really say, hey, what's the vision you have of XYZ moment in this show? I have the language and kind of the respect to say, this is a really good way you can do that through this software, this program, and this type of sound filter on your sound. He's like, oh, thank you. Like, hypothetical situation. The man is so professional. Jeff Eubank is our sound designer, and he's been such a legend in the Kansas City theater when it comes to the technical side. I have a lot of respect for him.
It's really interesting. I think people that are not in theater, people that haven't been around theater, they sometimes can overlook the fact that sound and lighting can really help.
It can make or break a production.
Right.
If it's great, you're not thinking about it. If it's excellent, you go, wow, that added so much to the show, right? It can be a make or break. I have seen so many shows where it's like, cool, where are the microphones for the musical? I'm kind of curious about that.
That's interesting. Well, when you were talking about all the different roles and such, it reminded me of baking or cooking, that you don't just present this wonderful meal, but there's also the cleanup, there's the prep, there's getting all the
truth.
Ingredients.
What a great metaphor.
Right?
Yeah, when you're baking, and if you add a little too much of something, it can sometimes spoil everything. And I think that can sometimes be the ego of someone. When someone is very egotistical in a creative team about having XYZ thing done, I think everyone deserves their non-negotiables and hills to die on, but those need to be finite in order to be respectful of the production moving forward, right? And being a collective vision.
Well, I know I get really cranky when I come to the station and the blue M&Ms are not on the desk.
Oh my God. We need to talk to your manager right now.
I love it. Kiddo, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to be right back.
Looking to dive into the world of conversation and all it has to offer? Tune in On Air with Nikki Brooks, where we spotlight local artists, professionals, and community figures who are right here in Kansas City. Each week, we share their stories, insights, and the passion behind their craft. So whether you're looking to be inspired, entertained, or you just want to be a better, well-rounded individual, then this is the show for you. Catch us every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on KKFI 90.1 FM. Join the conversation, and I'll see you on air.
KKFI at your fingertips. Grab our app from your app store today. Live radio, archived shows, podcast, news, and a real-time playlist. Download the KKFI app today.
Hey, we're back. This is Art Speak Radio on 90.1 FM, KKFI, Kansas City Community Radio. I'm talking with Skippy Harbur,
Yay!
Who is a performer, producer, and educator whose business, Music by Skippy, creates live arts experiences for multi-generational audiences. You know, it's been wonderful talking to you. I do want to share with our listeners what we had talked before we went on air, as far as things sort of happened with this production, The Toxic Avenger, the musical, where you met people in Columbia, Missouri, and if you could share that story.
Absolutely. So something I've had to think critically about from a marketing strategy and executive producer perspective is, because we're not doing shows that have a lot of name recognition, how do you think about critically and thoughtfully marketing a show? So I can't just say, hey, come see The Toxic Avenger, the musical. People are like, I have no idea what you just said. I'm like, awesome. So then I read the whole script of these shows a few times and find out what are themes that pop up, right? And for this show, the biggest theme that happens, it is about a guy who turns into the Toxic Avenger to fight corrupt politicians who are for and profit off of global warming. I was like, oh, global warming. What if I think about the habit that some people have who are big global warming educators or people who are activists in that space? How about I tell them about this show and I focus in my conversations that the whole point of this show is to fight global warming. That's really a big part of it. Found about 20 to 30 different activist groups in Kansas City and Missouri and beyond. And I actually have had returned emails from activist groups that have bought tickets in bulk related to environmentalism and global warming. And I've now got an interview with a state Senate lobbying group called Renew Missouri.
Bravo.
Which is amazing. And they want to talk to me on their podcast about the power of using live arts to then bring social justice-based issues to people on a larger scale.
Bravo. Oh,
right?
Great.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So you just have to, sometimes it's not about going, thank goodness for the brand name. Sometimes it's thank goodness for what the mission of the show is. That's actually a little more conversational and might actually pique people's interest in a different way, you know?
I love that. I love that. You know, it's just wonderful when that happens. It just poof, whoops,
big
poof,
time,
just came
big poof.
out of,
you know, bonk, big poof.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Well, you know, this sounds like so much fun. We did talk about the fact that it was the audience is 13.
Yeah, recommended ages 13 and up. At the same time, we are firm believers about theater spaces when things might be a little, you know, there's some gore, there's some other things in the show that might make you a little queasy. A big thing is just have the conversations. We understand some kiddos are really going to resonate and might even attract to what that world is. It's theater for a reason. It happens on a stage and then the curtain closes, right? It's about having the conversation about what you're witnessing. Ages 13 and up is recommended, not necessarily required. In fact, not required.
I love that. You know, you've got this going on, The Toxic Avenger, the musical, through January 30th through February 8th. What happens after this? What other sort of projects can you share with us that you're
working on?
Creating,
Of
yes,
course.
yeah.
So the two that I can definitely talk about is this past year in 2025, I went on tour for a show called Skippy the Drum Machine. And I'm a professional beatboxer, person making drum sounds with their mouth. And I did this library show that teaches kids and families about how to beatbox using the alphabet and patterns. And then I have this thing called a loop machine, and I layer my voice and make like original song to show kids the power of basic music education. So teaching about melody, harmony, rhythm, and dynamics is what I teach kids.
Fun. I
So
love it.
this summer, it went from booking 17 shows last year to almost 50 this year. So this summer I'm going on a proper almost 30 to 50 show tour for that across the states of Missouri and Iowa. And then I can't talk too much about this thing, but I'm happy to talk about it at least a little bit right now. I created a children's musical in 2025 that did really great for its first mounting, and I'm in the process of applying for a very large opportunity to remount that show in 2026. It has not just a musical element, but it also has an original little book that's coming with the show. It's based on a children's book I've written and got illustrated from someone in Minnesota. So things are shaking and moving. It's busy.
I love that. And of course, I'm going to ask you if you would do a little.
I mean, of course. You want to hear a little beatboxing?
Absolutely. Do I need to mic down?
Oh,
or
no,
down?
you're good.
Okay,
I'll be
okay,
thoughtful. Okay, so here's a little preview. Skippy skip. Yeah, whatever that is.
Holy
I just kind
moly.
of black out and do it now. I don't even know where my brain goes anymore.
Okay. I'm just going to cut out here. You're just going to take over the whole show. This is great. I love
Thank
that.
you. It's
know,
fun.
And no wonder it was so wildly popular because it's fun.
It
And-
is a universal language. That's what I was explaining to someone
And
yesterday.
it's all you.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I didn't make up any of that. That wasn't a magic trick on my lips. That was my muscles.
I love it. I love it. We look forward to so much more happening. And I hope that you will come back and visit us in 2026.
I look forward to it. There's so many wonderful
Calendars
things
open.
happening.
Yeah. I know you're going to be on tour a lot, but we can also do phone-ins and Zooms and everything because you're just too much fun not to
Oh
have
my
back.
gosh, Maria. Thank you. You're so
Oh,
sweet.
you're
Thanks for all that
wonderful.
you do for the community.
Well, you bet. Thank you for coming in today, and I hope you'll stick around or if you need to take off your...
Oh, heck yeah.
Very good.
Definitely. Thank you.
You bet. We're going to be right back after this.